Hello, I'm Florida Joe 3, and in this video I'm going to show how to assemble a Muddy brand Droptine HD 1.5 person ladder stand. The instruction manual has a parts list, but there are no pictures with the list, so I just went through the actual instructions where the parts are typed in bold print and verified that I have all the parts. I went ahead and used that opportunity to sort the parts in the order that I would be using them. There is a hardware list in the manual. I separated all the hardware into piles on a piece of cardboard and labeled each pile. The bolts are roughly drawn actual size in the manual, so you can just hold a bolt up to the picture to verify the size. If you can't find all 30 nylock nuts, check in the plastic delta nuts. They tend to hide in there. Now we're ready for step 1. Attach the top letter extensions to the top ladder section using two 1 1/4 hex bolts and two mylock nuts. Note, when attaching top letter extensions, be sure that the bends are facing outward. These are the top ladder extensions, and this is the top ladder section. Step number 2, next attach the side frames to the top ladder extensions using the 1 1/4 hex bolts and two mylock nuts to secure. Step 3, insert a ladder section into the assembled top ladder section. Secure ladder sections and under support gussets using two 2-inch hex bolts and two 1/4-inch mylock nuts. Now step 4, connect the rear standing platform to the front standing platform, aligning holes, using a 2-inch hex bolt and one nylock nut. Secure the standing platforms together in the center holes. It's important to remember, don't put a bolt in the outside holes yet, just the center. Continuing with step 4, next attach the standing platform to the top ladder extensions using two 2-inch hex bolts and two nylock nuts. We're going to put our bolt through the bottom hole in the top ladder extensions. Make sure you install the standing platform with the grating on top of the bars. And finally, on step 4, attach the footrest to the top ladder extensions using two 2-inch hex bolts, two non-metal 1/4-inch spacers, and two nylock nuts. These 1/4-inch spacers are the middle size ones of the group. There's only two of them, so make sure you get the right ones. The footrest will go in the top two holes just above the standing platform. Install the footrest with the little pegs facing downward. The non-metal spacers go between the footrest and the ladder extension. Moving on to step 5, attach the curved ends of the under support gussets to the back of the outer aligned holes Connecting the standing platforms using two 2 3/4 hex bolts and two nylock nuts. Moving on to step 6, you need to insert the rear frame support into the side frame's aligning hole. This is the rear frame support. Go ahead and turn the whole thing over so the side frames are facing up. The rear frame support doesn't have a top or bottom, so it doesn't matter which way you put it in. Step 7. Next, connect the left and right seat supports. Then attach the assembled seat supports to the rearmost holes of the rear frame support using two 2-inch hex bolts and two nylock bolts. Note, the lower holes are used in the seat support. The seat supports have a bend in them, and that's to bend away from the hunter and towards the tree. So just make sure when you're installing it that it bends towards the tree. Step 8, attach the seat support to the rear of the standing platform using two 2-inch hex bolts and two nylock nuts. Step 9, using two 1.5-inch hex bolts, four non-metal washers, and two nylock nuts, secure the rear support hoop to the seat support. The non-metal washers are the thinnest of the orange plastic disc. The teeth of the rear support hoop need to face in the same direction as the rear frame support teeth, so make sure you put it in oriented correctly. Make sure not to over tighten these bolts as you want the rear support hoop to swing freely. Step 10, slide the left and right shooting rail stops over the front of the armrest and secure using two 1/4-inch delta bolts. These are those plastic knobs with bolts sticking out of them. The armrests have two holes in the front and one hole in the back, as you can see here. You want to put the shooting rail rest on the front, which is the side with one hole. Install the shooting rail stop so that the orange peg is on top and in front and sticking out away from the hunter. Then just screw in the delta hex bolt, which is basically a knob with a bolt sticking out of it. Okay, do the same on the other side, and it should be a mirror image of the first one. Continuing with step 10, next attach the armrest to the outside of the side frames using four 2 1/4-inch hex bolts, four 3/8 non-metal spacers, these are the thickest of the orange plastic spacers, and two nylock nuts. The side frames just have two holes in them, so it's pretty obvious where the armrests go. Make sure that the shooting rail stops are facing out and they're forward. Moving on to step 11, thread the seat tension bolt completely into the seat bar. Mine came with it already threaded in there, so you probably won't have to do that. It's already in there. Insert the seat bar through the seat rest on the front of the seat assembly and secure using a 1 1/4 inch hex bolt and one nylock nut. There's the seat bar, and there's the seat tensioning bolt already installed. You can see that the seat rest has a small hole on one side that the bar can't possibly go through. So you want to insert it from the other side with the tensioning bolt going in first. There it is. Once you've got the seat bar installed, you'll want to line up the hole on the bar with the hole in the rest so that you can put the bolt through it. Step 11 also has an important note. It says, using the Allen wrench, turn the seat tension bolt counterclockwise until the seat is taut. This also expands the width between seat rests to allow them to align with and rest on the side frames when attached. So just stick the Allen wrench in that little hole there and turn it counterclockwise. Step 12, slip the backrest of the seat assembly over the seat support, then attach the seat assembly to the seat support using two 1 1/4 inch hex bolts, two non-metal washers, and two nylock nuts. Make sure the Muddy logo is facing forward before sliding the seat over the seat supports. If you have difficulty, as I did, stretching the seat over the seat supports, get a ratcheting strap to bring the seat supports in. Continuing on with step 12, we'll attach the seat assembly to the seat support. Don't forget the orange plastic washer. It'll go between the seat assembly and the seat support. Step 13, connect the shooting rail connector to the left and right shooting rail pieces using two 1-inch hex bolts and two nylock nuts. The shooting rail connector is this short little bar here, and you need to make sure that the holes in it line up with the holes in the shooting rail pieces. Continuing on with step 13, attach the assembled shooting rail to the outside of the armrest using two 2 1/4 inch carriage bolts, two 3/8 non-metal spacers, and two delta nuts to secure. The carriage bolts have a smooth head with this square spot underneath that'll fit in the square hole on the armrest. Again, the 3/8 non-metallic spacer is the thickest of the orange spacers. You want to place the shooting rest so that the bar bends upwards in front of the hunter. The delta nut is just a plastic knob with a nut inside it. The shooting rail rests on top of the shooting rail stops, which can be adjusted up or down depending on how high the hunter wants them. But they both need to be at the same level. So step 14 just says securely tighten every nut and bolt at this time if you haven't already. There's also a warning there not to over tighten the hardware. So make sure you don't crush anything when you're tightening. And then step 15, attach the shooting rail cover to the shooting rail and armrest covers to the armrest. I found that the best way to put these covers on is to press the out-facing Velcro onto the flat surface and then put the other Velcro on top of it and just go along a little at a time, do about 6 inches at a time, and then just go ahead and press the next section up and then press the rest on like that. After you get the shooting arrest cover on, you want to make sure that the ends of it are even. So you may need to slide it across the bar until the ends are even all the way around.
Moving on to step 16, assemble adjustable support bar by sliding part A into part B. Note, a snap pin will be used to set the desired length of the adjustable support bar. So they're calling this thing a snap pin. It's right here. And it's the 2-inch one. There's 3 in the package. There's 2 smaller ones, and then there's this larger one. So you want to use the 2-inch one. The adjustable support bar has these 2 pieces, and I just slide it all the way in. The hunter can adjust it out later. And then just put this pin in there. And then this is ready to attach to the ladder segment. Step 17 is to attach the support bar to ladder using 2 2¼ hex bolts, non-metal washers, and the 1/4-inch nylock nuts. These are going to be the last of your nuts and bolts in your hardware kit if everything was counted right. Okay, for this step we'll add another ladder segment. They're all the same, so you can just pick one up and slide it in until the bolt holes align. All right, so you can put your bolts in now. We want to install it with the loop up towards the top of the tree. We'll put the support bar inside the ladder like this. Put our bolt through the support bar, all the way through, and then put one of these orange washers on, and then thread it through the ladder like this. And then finally put the nut on. And same on the other side. That completes step 17. And that completes the assembly. You still have one ladder segment over there that you'll just need to ship it to the customer unassembled. That'll be put together using these other snap clips. These guys right here. We'll put on the last segment with that. So I like to go ahead and install these clips here in the end so they won't get lost. And then the final user can take them out and use them to attach the last segment of the ladder. And that's how you put that one together. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.